All right. Hey, what's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the Water Bearer podcast. So, this is episode 99 of the whole podcast. We're celebrating 3 years. We started January 18th, I think was the exact day of 2023. So, the podcast has been going on for 3 years now. And this is the 10th season. And this is episode 12 of season 10, which is the wild card season. So if you have been here since day one, welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome to you as well. Oh, wrong banner. Sorry about that. Glad to have you. So welcome to the podcast. And then also, if you're here, you can join the Drip family, which is sharing is caring, but hey, subscribing is thriving. So we want you to go ahead and hit that YouTube subscription button. And then also, while you're there, make sure you hit the notification bell as well, if that's possible. So really appreciate it if you can do that. And then you can catch the drip every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we'll have just one more episode actually for this season. So April 2nd will be the season finale. And tonight I'm going to go ahead and give a little bit of a clue. So if you're watching this, you can go ahead and start your early voting. I will be mentioning this, promoting it during the hiatus. But the next season, the theme for that will be the yearbook. So with that said, as you know, when you're graduating school, high school, things like that, there are basically, certain categorizations of people in your class. You may have the silliest person, most likely to succeed, and all that. So these are the 12 categories that I want you all to tell me based on the zodiac sign, which one you think fits that category. So you want to do best dressed, which sign you think is the best dressed. We're doing class clown, most likely to succeed, most rebellious, most seductive, which I guess if we're talking about high school, probably shouldn't be too seductive in high school, but you get the point. Hottest temper, most vengeful, best cook, most intelligent, most responsible, best conversationalist, and then Mr. and Miss Congeniality. So those are going to be the 12 areas that you all can vote on. So I'm really excited about tonight and tonight's guest. I see that Colton is back there backstage, so glad he's here with us. And then we'll go over some of the highlights as far as the social media outlets where you can follow. So if you're not already doing so, you can follow me on Instagram at Poetic, and that's PEAUXETIC. And then TikTok is PEAUXETIC, and then the number 7. And then you can also follow Colton on these platforms as well on TikTok. And I want to make sure I get his last name right, so I'll ask him when he comes out. But Colton Canava, I don't know if I said that the right way. Canava, I'm not sure which one, but I'm going to spell it out either way. So it's COLTON and then CANAVA, and that's on TikTok, Instagram, and on Facebook as well. And then on Instagram, his other account is also the Cryptid Theory. So we'll be talking about that tonight too. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring out Colton to join us. What's up, Colton?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's up? I'm good, man. How about you?
Doing all right. Been busy corralling the kiddos, getting them
I hear you.
ready for bed and fed and all the good stuff. But
Okay.
been good. Been a long time.
Nice. I know, right? Yeah, it has been a minute. Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted to make sure I got your name right, your last name. How do you say your last name?
Canava.
Canava.
Technically be
Okay.
like Canava, but Canava.
Canava.
There's a
Okay.
little,
I'll
there's a
say it
little
like that.
accent
That's
hidden in there.
okay. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Yeah,
Man,
man.
well, I'm so glad to. I know you're busy with the kids and everything, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I'm so glad that you're able to join us here tonight for the podcast. And so I just wanted to, just start off by asking you, how did you get into art? And so for those that may not know or don't know this story, how I met Colton was I was delivering an order because I do Instacart sometimes, and he was finishing up this amazing mural at an apartment complex. And so we started talking about the art and everything, and that's how we ended up, having him on the podcast. But I'm just curious as far as like how you got your start, and then what has your journey been over the years?
Yeah, I say it's a complex, complicated, kind of ridiculous answer. I feel like I've always been like that artist, like since I was a kid. You see my 6-year-old running around, but like since I was 6 years old, 5 years old, 4 years old, like I was always doodling, arting, doing my thing. I never took it seriously until like the back end of college. Like I went to college at Baylor University.
Okay.
And rather than pursuing art and design, I pursued engineering. And then I hated that. Then jumped into psychology and hated that. I feel like they're kind of like messing with your mind with every test. Like they know the way that you think because they're psychologists.
Right.
But it's just, I was like, this isn't, I don't think I like this. Jumped into nursing, but like did all these other things. And then finally was like, all right, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do art. I actually needed a minor, so I took a minor in art. I dove in head first, fell in love, and then just switched everything entirely. Got my BFA in art and design.
Okay.
Again, coming out of college, I didn't think you could actually do just art, so I pursued design. I'd been in advertising for 15 years, so I worked for really big agencies, big campaigns, big brands. So I worked for Frito-Lay, Bubble One, Julio. So like really big brands doing some pretty cool stuff. So I got a pretty hefty portfolio on the design side. And then art-wise, as far as the murals go, I've been doing that since about 2012. Like again, I've been an artist forever, just never seriously until like 2012. And then been doing it as my side hustle, passion project, taking it very not so serious. Mm-hmm. And then this past year, I decided to just go all in, launch my own design studio.
Hey.
So full-time art dad as well. Over there, buddy. But yeah, decided to launch Cryptid Theory the end of last year, and have been busy ever since. My first project was in Arlington at a coffee shop called Arlington Coffee Roasters, where I met you, was Access at Bycliffe.
Yes.
That was my second mural as Cryptid Theory. And then I finished another project in Dallas and have just pretty crazy full schedule right now. So that's a very long answer to how
No, I love that. And you, so I was formulating some questions as you were giving that answer. So the first thing I'm curious about is, so when you went through the stint of all of those things, like the engineering and psychology, nursing, the things that you didn't enjoy, and I guess this is a two-part question. First, did you feel pressured in any way to dive into those fields versus your passion, which is art? And then, even though you didn't like those, is there anything that you feel like you took from any of those fields that you still use today?
Definitely pressure. I graduated high school when I was 17, and my mindset as a 17-year-old was you're not going to go to college to study art. Like that's maybe you do like finger paint, right? What are you going to do with like sit? I actually remember. So my mom lived in California, so I lived with my grandparents here in Texas. I'd go visit my mom in California. I remember going to Venice Beach, or Santa Monica Pier, and seeing all these artists just like doing caricatures, and like that was a professional artist as far as I knew, coming from small town Texas. Was like I could grow up, become an artist, and then make funny pictures of somebody. Like I had zero just understanding of what you could do with art, and like you can do so many things. So yeah, very much pressured into getting a real job, which is why I pursued engineering. I did love building things. I loved making things. I probably would have really enjoyed architecture, but just like yeah, art was just so. It was just a silly career, which is kind of funny also slash ironic because both my grandparents studied music at University of North Texas. So my granddad was a music professor at University of the States. So I had the art like the blueprint more or less, not exactly, but like I come from artists. And it's possible to have a career and a life and a family, but yeah, that's not the smart thing to do. And maybe it's not the smart thing to just do that, which is where I've made the transition now with Cryptid Theory is not just being the artist, but being the design studio. Yes, I'm an artist. Ideally, I would like to grow and bring on a few different artists so it becomes more of a collective, but treating it like a business first, not art second, but business first as far as mentality, speaking with clients, meeting people, getting myself out there. Because like a year ago even, I was hesitant and afraid to do that. One, because I had a career in advertising. The thing that I took away from, well, really, I mean, one, just that school background. I've always said, like, versus going to art school, like, I think it's helped me become more well-rounded, as cheesy as that is. But I have so many different perspectives and interests, and I want to dive in and understand as a mural artist. Not that I got into substrates and the technology that goes into certain structures and buildings, but the interest now of like, I can't just paint a wall. Like I need to know, was it painted with this certain thing? Is it metal? Is it anything to be aware of? Even just like designing the art before it gets wrapped onto the canvas. Like just needing the dimensions, which isn't engineering, but still like thinking beyond just art for art's sake, and really merging design plus art. And again, so I think I left this out, but last April, or almost at my anniversary, but last April 1st, I got laid off from my agency job. So I was associate creative director at Tracy Locke. Had been there for a few years. So again, one of the big agencies with the big brands that I had mentioned. But I got laid off. Kind of just like left to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with my life. Spent the summer working for an LA-based agency, and then just like, yeah, again, just like made the transition, made the shift to just create what I'm working on right now. I think all of that collective background, again, not just being the artist, but the collective background from advertising, from school, has, I like to think, positions me in a way where I'm comfortable and I can speak to anybody. I can hold conversations beyond just art or beyond just sports or beyond this. Like I have the ability to kind of blend into a room and stand out as the artist, but be more professional in the way that I'm presenting myself, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that totally makes sense. And I think too, it's interesting. I would say sorry for being laid off, but I feel like in a way, situations like that are a blessing because now you get to really fully operate in your passion. And I feel like if it's something that's your passion, you're gonna make it work. Like it might be hard, but you'll find a way to make it work, and not only make it work, but succeed in it. And it's crazy to think. I feel like in today's world, people wouldn't really blink at you studying art. But I understand the pressure you said you felt because, 10, 20, 30 years ago, that was kind of unheard of to say, oh, I'm going to school for art.
Yeah.
Whereas now,
not quite at 30 years.
Oh yeah, no, me neither. But no, I'm just saying, yeah, it's like the further we go back, it's like not. It's less acceptable, I guess, is what I'm saying. Yeah,
it's not taboo, but taboo adjacent.
Yes.
And like
Yeah.
like right now, maybe not right now, in the past decade or so, the the conversation about loans and like people that study theater or art or like these majors that don't necessarily like pay what $200,000. I didn't spend $200,000, but what like a hard you go to Harvard to study something that's not going to give you $1 million. Like why would you pursue that? Like that's yeah, the payoff isn't there, so why would you pursue it? So it's just like kind of brushed aside. You're not taking that seriously. Um, and I think the Baylor thing has certainly helped in some of the circles that I've been a part of. I've always been kind of like I wasn't the traditional typical Baylor student. I was a small town, definitely not an rich kid. Um, definitely just a different. It was a different role for me being higher. And so I definitely have a lot of relationships when I was Baylor. But now again, like being able to speak in some of these rooms, I met the Arlington Chamber of Commerce CEO, yes, I'm a part of the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. I met the CEO, we started talking about specifically my interest in murals and stuff, and introduced us. And then it turned out 5 minutes into the conversation, we also got together. And so this opened up a whole other conversation about just background reading, we were talking about, we were talking about the murals, just talking about.
I missed that last part. You said it was like a little slight echo. You said that you said 5 minutes into the conversation, and then and what happened? What was the last part you said?
I didn't into this conversation like this CEO who like a stranger. I mentioned that I was available trying to he also was away. So that connection and it's another something that he had. So like next time I see this again, I'm not a complete stranger now. We have that now.
Okay.
Can
I can, but it's like it's a, I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like an echo. It's like kind of scratchy a little bit. It wasn't like that in the beginning, but I can hear that now. Does it sound okay on your side?
Yeah.
It does. Okay.
So
Yeah, it's still kind of there. I'm not sure. Maybe it'll go away. Okay. Now I don't hear it when you mute it. Yeah, it's just like a little slight, like static, a little bit. Yeah. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Dang it, I hate to stop it because it's dang, I was enjoying the conversation. Because it's yeah, maybe we can try that. Yeah, maybe try to hop back in. Um, and then I'll see if it still does it. Okay. Okay, y'all. Sorry about the technical difficulties. So Colson is going to come back in, but while he's doing that, um, as I said, I think it's really one of the interesting things about this time that we live in is that people do feel, empowered to really go after their dreams and do what they want to do. So I think that's awesome that he really eventually went for what he's doing now. Let's see. Okay, now I think it's gone. Can you hear me okay, Colton? Okay, I think it's gone now. Are you able to hear me? No?
It's all funky on my end.
Oh no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. It's in my headphones?
Oh,
That's
maybe it's
weird.
in the headphones. Okay, yeah, it's really clear now. Is it
Okay.
clear on my
We'll
on
kill
your side?
those. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh,
Now we're back.
cool. Hey, yeah, that works.
What we
But yeah,
miss?
but no, I was just saying, I was just reiterating the point that I just think is so cool in today's time, how I feel like this generation, like, they really feel empowered to do what they want to do, beyond like whatever pressures or anything. They just kind of go for what they want, which is something I kind of wish I had a little bit of when I was in school.
Yeah.
But I think that's just awesome that you're operating in the space that you're really passionate about.
I appreciate that, man.
Oh yeah.
What would you study right now if you could do it all over?
I would probably study journalism.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because I love podcasting and I love writing. I write books, as I shared with you too, like poetry books, and I've written novels and things like that. So I feel like just studying the technicalities and the mindset of a journalist, I think would be a really good setup for both.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so I think that's what I would have done.
Okay. Kind of a dangerous field right now to be in, journalism. We won't talk about
Well,
that.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, now the funny thing is, I would study it, but I wouldn't use it in its traditional
Yeah.
sense. So yeah, but I,
It's a hot
yeah,
topic.
yes, it is.
Well, I think the other thing interesting about the is it like the design curriculum? Like I think that like there are definitely tiers to like art school slash design, like
Mm,
the good, better, best or whatnot. I feel like there have been so many students that have gone to these like art slash design schools to pursue the real world design track to get a real job. And even
mhm.
that's failed them where you hate your job. Like you're this creative, you're this artist, and then 15 years down the road, you're making coupons or you're making like some
Right.
newspaper ad or whatever. And
Mhm.
the soul of that creative just I don't know, discipline has all but disappeared outside of the 1%. Um And even like when I was working agency side, I think maybe once or twice a year I'd get to work on something epic. But for the most part, I wasn't that excited about half the work that we did. And I was probably
Mm.
way too spoiled because we still did some really cool stuff, but not necessarily the stuff that I wanted to do.
Yeah. Mhm.
But like all these quote unquote artists, I'm like, how many of those that wanted to just study art ended up studying design like myself because you can't really create art for real for a job to get paid for and then settled in design and then still kind of hate their job even though they have like the dream job.
Uh-huh.
It's not as glamorous as it's sold to you. It's student orientation. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Or that's just me.
No, I agree with you. It's funny you mentioned one of the companies that you did work for, Frito Lay. I used to work there, and I worked there for almost 10 years, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong. But to your point, once you got inside of the inner workings and you worked there, anybody that I told that I worked at Frito Lay, they thought, "Oh, that's really cool. You probably get a whole bunch of free chips and and I mean, occasionally, yes, but there were a lot of fun things. But to your point, there were also equally, or maybe more, not so fun things
Yeah,
that people don't really know until you're in the trenches, like yourself, doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like this is a huge reach, but like Andrew Luck. So Andrew Luck just
Okay.
got beat down. Let's go deep. Indianapolis
Yeah.
Colts starting quarterback a decade ago.
Yep.
But like to anybody watching like him, his position, his financial position. He's
Hmm.
absolutely crazy for retiring at what 31 or however old he was.
Right.
But from his position, like he was tired of getting sacked, beat down, just like everything that came with
Yeah.
it. And like you can fall out of love with the thing that you love because it's just not fun anymore. Good job, buddy.
Hmm.
Um, but equating that back to like the real world, it's like, is everything that glamorous? Or is that the thing that like
Yeah.
really like still inspires you? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Along the lines of that, I'm curious to get your take on this. So I've been asking a couple questions to everyone this season. One of those
get
is
ready.
this segment. It's called Two Truths and a Lie. So how this works is, I would love to know from your perspective in your profession, what are two truths that you've learned over the years? And then what's something that maybe people believe is true, but it's actually a lie?
In my profession,
Right.
two truths and a lie. I mean, I don't know if it's cheating, but like the literally, and I'm just like go back to my own thing, but like Cryptid Theory forever again, like you can't be an artist. And like I told myself that. And then finally, like April 1st, layoff, I'm just gonna be positive about this and like switch the way that I perceive the world. And so like the truth like that day was I'm an artist, which was the truth.
Yeah.
But like bringing it back to like the world, like you have to believe in yourself. Like you truly have to
Yeah,
believe
you
in
do.
yourself
Mhm.
and convey the belief that you have to a client or to that networking group or to like whoever that is that like you're an artist. Like you have to believe that truthfully, like
Mhm.
throughout. Like there could be no doubts, maybe a little bit of doubt, but then you got to shake that off and like just
Yeah.
like truly believe. And like as soon as I made that switch, I was actually sitting at a design conference when I was like, all right, I'm just doing this thing. Like I'm just gonna launch. And like like since that moment, I like set up the LLC, set up the business, like all this stuff. Everything's fallen into place because I believed that I'm gonna do this thing. And like so far, I'm a few months in, but so far it's working out.
Yeah.
And
And it
I
will.
almost have too much work where I'm just like stressing about everything I have on my plate, which is a great
Wow.
thing. So that's one
Yeah.
truth, maybe a cop out, but like believing
No, that's a
yourself
great
is the
truth. Yeah.
truth.
Hmm.
Um, ah, Truth number two is it's a lot more complex than just painting a picture and then translating that picture.
Mm.
Um, like murals look very easy. Like even for me, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be piece of cake. I'm gonna knock this out in a week. 3 weeks later, I'm still working on the Axis at Wycliffe. Like there are so many complications that happen in the real world. When I was working on Axis at Wycliffe, that mural project, one, it was on garage doors, so it was it was
Oh.
just a challenging substrate to work with.
Mhm.
Um, and then two, the weather, which one I did have weather weatherproof paint that I was working with. So it was like built for that a little bit. But once it like hit sub 15, sub 20,
Yeah, because it was getting
like I
cold.
was like, I can't do anything until it warmed up. Slash, I'm just like freezing outside, so it's miserable. But the process with anything is so much more complex than the end result that you see on a wall or an ad or
Mhm.
film in production or whatever. Um, I've been on a couple, just tangent, I've been on a couple um, TV shows in the past 8 months. I was actually on one yesterday. I don't know if I can say that, but I was actually on
I
one
think was
yesterday.
that related to the stories that you posted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like,
I
do I
saw
get in
that. I was like, I
trouble
can't
for
wait to see
that?
that.
So I might have been involved in a Fort Worth production yesterday as a
Okay.
background actor.
That's cool.
Um, forgot where I was going with that. But okay, yeah, so the everything that goes into a scene, I feel like I'm jumping up everywhere,
No, you're
is
good.
so complex. Like it took a day to shoot a scene, which is crazy. Like you
Yeah.
think of like a 60 minute show, that one like little piece took a majority of the day to do. And so like seeing the whole process, like we take for granted a 30-minute TV show and we don't think about all the people. Like literally there are like 100 people there yesterday, just background actors, not to mention the crew, not to mention makeup, not like all this stuff
Mm,
that we as humans take for granted
mhm.
that goes into the process of making the thing. Again, getting back to art and murals, like the process is intense and it's more than just the pretty thing that you see on the wall. Like it's and you have to be buttoned up. You have to know what you're doing. You also have to again treat it like a business, and not sell yourself short. Like not do free work, not do
Right.
not price yourself too low. That was a very long answer to two truths, one lie. That one's hard. That one is hard. I don't know if I have a lie.
Well, I don't know, and I don't know if you would count this as one, but as you were talking, I kind of thought that this could be qualify as a lies. What, excuse me, the part that you mentioned when people say it looks easy,
Mm,
because when I saw you doing the mural that day, I didn't think it looked easy, but what I did think was, oh, this is way above my head, but it's probably easy to him
yeah,
because that's his field.
yeah.
And so it sounds like what you're saying, even if that's your passion,
Okay,
it's not
I've got a
easy.
lie. Yeah,
Okay.
spinning off of that, and I've seen other artists, other muralists mention this too. Not that it's a pain point, but it's a commonality. But I've had God, at least I feel like at least once a day I've painted. I've met someone that says, "Wow, I can't even do stick figures." Like so, like people, and I've talked to people about this. Like we're all artists innately, and so like we tell ourselves at some point when I was 17 decided I can't be an artist for a career, I then switched away, and like most people do that, never come back to their creative side or their passion. um but I think everybody's an artist. Like I think everybody has the potential to be creative, and maybe it's not painting. I
Hmm.
still think yes you can. And when people say I can't even draw a stick figure, I'm like, have you seen uh is it, of course I miss it right now. Keith Haring. Like Keith Haring isn't stick figures, but stick
Uh,
figure-esque. Like
uh,
old like New York
yeah.
subway, like the little characters. Like
Hmm.
I hate Jackson Pollock. But like abstract art and just creating whatever. But when you're 4 years old, like what were you do? You just never drew, you never created anything.
Right.
It's like at some point we were trained away from that, and part of that is the school system where we're told like sit down, shut up, do this math problem, and like taking
Hmm.
like literally stripping the creativity out of you from such a young age. But I think
Yes.
innately the lie, like I think we all are born creative and artists, and we lose that at some point. We lose our superpowers at some point and then just become adults. Like the magic of being a child, like the Peter Pan thing.
Yeah.
It's like you never want to grow up, and then you grow up and then you almost forget what you were like when you were 15, 16, 7, like when you were dreaming.
Hmm.
Um, I've referenced a quote on LinkedIn from this movie Up in the Air. It's like the question is, how much did they how much did they pay you to give up on your dreams? With
Uh,
what's his name? It was like the doctor,
I know what movie you're
not
talking
doctor,
about.
George Clooney. George
Yeah.
Clooney.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Hmm.
George Clooney is like basically laying off these people, these like very top guys in these businesses. And after that quote, it's like how much they paid you to give up on your dreams. The guy says that he was paid 30 28,000. I think it was like $28,000. But before, like he was a sous chef. Like he loved cooking. He loved doing that. And getting back to like the opportunities you mentioned, you said like, sorry, I got laid off, but like it opens doors, and like that's been my mentality this past almost year now. Um, is I wouldn't have jumped. Like think of a like jumping out of an airplane. Like I had to be pushed in order to be
Uh-huh.
here now, and now I feel almost invincible. But the opportunities that are allotted to you once you take that chance and believe in yourself, but then figure out how to make it work as you're like falling down, you're still gonna survive. You're still gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that quote, that idea, like my first job, I made 32,000 coming out of college, and I thought I had made it, but I
Right.
sold like my passion of art for design. And again,
Mhm.
did amazing things. That's probably giving myself way too much credit, but did some like really cool things
Well, no, I'm sure
as
they
an
were.
art
Yeah.
director and designer. Um, like I made a video game for a motor oil company that made no sense because it was like so cool. It made no sense because it was a motor
A
oil
motor oil
company,
company.
but like I got to craft and create these characters and build this
That's
video
cool.
game. I got to get the voiceover for. Do you remember the game Duke Nukem
Yeah.
back in the day?
Yeah.
So I got the
Uh-huh.
voiceover actor from Duke Nukem to be the hero for the game that I created for Mobile One. It was called Enemies of the Engine. But I got to create like
That's
the whole
crazy. Wow.
universe. Like you got to like it was a first person defender game because you couldn't do first person shooting because of legal. So it was like a whole like thing I had to work around. But like I
Okay.
got to really create when I was a designer and art director, creative director, and now just like so I didn't hate what I did, which is why I did it for 15 years.
Yeah.
But now transitioning, it's like building off of that world plus the art world to again like just position myself as like, essentially like art director of creative director of this mural world. Just a little different
Wow.
way
I love that.
to approach it.
Man, man, that's cool. I
So
love stories like that. I think that's really awesome, especially I would love to see it. I don't know if it's anywhere to view still, but to mesh things together that in a normal person's reality maybe wouldn't fit. I think those are the most awesome creations to me. Like you said, the video game with the motor oil company. Most people probably wouldn't think that those
yeah,
two things go together. But I'm sure for anybody who saw it and played it, that's one of those things you just don't forget. It's
yeah.
unforgettable.
But I try to apply the same approach like in creating the game. Like I'm not creating games now, but
Right.
I try to create essentially like a creative brief and then work one on one with my clients, whether it's like the CEO or the president or the marketing manager, and like work directly with them to develop what I'm building before paint ever touches the surface. And then I
Mm.
paint. And
Okay.
so, same thing, like I try to find commonalities or special things. There's a coffee shop here. Give shout out to Arlington Coffee Roasters.
Hey.
But Artisan Coffee Roasters hired me to do a mural. Um, and they're the only roaster in town, at least whenever I did the mural. And so I presented this idea of like, let's create a mythos. Let's create a whole story around Arlington Coffee Roasters. There are these iconic things around town. One being a mineral well that's like kind of hidden. Like if you're in Arlington, you know of it, maybe.
Huh.
But the way that they designed the city, it's kind of just like tucked away in a corner, hidden in downtown. So I incorporated that. There are these lion heads throughout the city that I still don't technically understand where the lion came from, but it was also a part of that mineral well. And then I was like,
Huh.
since we're the first roaster, let's go a little bigger. Let's tell the story of the very first roast of coffee. So I created
Wow.
or was inspired by the caffeina, the goddess of coffee, and then recreated that as my mural. So that became a story. She meets the Lion of Arlington, and then they go to the well of Arlington and roast the first cup of coffee.
Oh wow.
But I did a full interior takeover of this coffee shop from the main room to the bathroom, and it's like a whole 360 experience, which is a
I'm
lot of
gonna
fun.
go
But I
there so I can see it.
do it. Yeah, you should. You should. But I love the storytelling piece also. Again, I'm not necessarily a art for art's sake
creative or muralist. Like I love the storytelling piece and
Mhm.
how to make it a lot more complex. Well, yeah, complex. Um, More depth than just a pretty flower. So like how can you
Yeah,
tell a little
yeah.
bit more of the
Hmm.
story? Where every time someone comes back, they want to learn a little bit more. Maybe they see something that they didn't see the first time or something. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. So
Wow.
applying everything that I've learned in my previous role into what I'm doing now.
Right. So it's like it all connects and it
Yeah,
all ends up working together.
yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. And so this is another segment I have for you. Now, this one's a little different. It's called Pick a Card.
Okay.
So I'll give you four different face cards from like a deck of cards, and you pick one. And based on the one you pick, that'll be a hypothetical scenario that I'll give you. And then you just tell me basically how you would respond to it. And so these are your four cards to choose from. So you have a King of Diamonds, a King of Hearts, a King of Clubs, and a King of Spades.
Go King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Okay. All right. So here is
Like
your
hashtag
scenario.
love.
Hey, that's right. Love it. So for the King of Hearts, this scenario is someone comes to you, they want to commission or have you commissioned to do an art project or mural, let's say, and they have a very unclear creative vision on how they want it to look, but they know they want you to execute it. So,
Mhm.
how do you handle working with that person, or do you even take that on?
Yeah. Well, so I just mentioned the Arlington Coffee Roasters project, but it was a little bit, I mean, it was kind of like that from the beginning.
Oh, really?
And so
Okay.
I presented six different, several different mood boards to begin with. So it's like we can go this direction, and all different design styles. And then for the next round, I explored way too many concepts, but I was also excited. But like it can be this direction. We can go like this, like the serious line. It can just be coffee stuff. It can. They actually, I think they gave me a direction, which is quote unquote safe. I was like, we can do this. Like, if you want to pay me to do this, that's fine. Or we
Right.
can tell a story. And so I was like, gave them like good to better, better to best, best to. And so like it became more of a relationship building opportunity.
Okay.
Um, and so it was, I mean, it was a learning experience for both of us. I think, again, that was my first Cryptid Theory mural, where I was like, I'm taking this thing seriously and treating it like I'm a design agency and not just a muralist.
Mm.
No,
Right.
not just a muralist, but like
Right.
kind of bringing everything that I've learned before. We actually had a couple of hiccups because I probably went a little too creative a couple times, couple rounds where I was like, man, like we're gonna make this thing like really, really rad. Like I wanted to stylize the tiger or the lion that I did and make it slightly less literal. And then at the end he was like, well, actually, okay, so actually there was a point where he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I like this story. I don't think I want to do this anymore." And so we were about to just like walk away, and I was like, "All right, let's have a powwow. Let's have a conversation. Let's figure
Oh,
this
wow.
out."
Yeah.
Turned out he was having a bad day. Slash, like it was just like one of those days where you're
Hmm.
like, "All right, I can't deal with one more thing."
Right.
Um, so I literally worked on the relationship and the human part of that relationship, which I just love people anyways.
Mm.
Um, but it was yeah, they didn't know what they wanted. I helped solve it for them, probably doing a little too much work on my end, but at the end of the day, it worked out. On the
Yeah.
on the flip side of that, the next project that I'm working on is for United Way of Tarrant County, and they actually worked with another advertising agency to actually design the mural. So I'm just
Oh.
bringing it to life on campus. So kind of the flip side of them not knowing what they want. They know exactly what they
Oh,
want.
right. And
They
you're
already
just
got it from their
executing it.
agency, so I'm going to help them bring it to life. So kind of a wide spectrum of what I'm working on.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is. And I love too with the Arlington scenario how you were able to see the human aspect and move past that, because some people would have said, when the person came to you and said, "Hey, we just want to scrap this whole thing," you could have easily gotten frustrated and said, "Okay, well, yeah, we're done. That's
Yeah.
it." But like you said, it turns out he was just having a bad day. And I think sometimes that's the hard thing with dealing with people, is that you can ask somebody the same exact question, but depending on what time of the day you ask them, what kind of day they're having, they could give you a very different answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And like getting back to like removing myself as the artist and just being the human and like having the conversation. And again, like some of the networking things that I'm doing, like I'm not just the artist. Like I want to make sure that I'm building relationships and meeting the right people. And I mean, ultimately like helping these businesses. Like the biggest mural that I created is like it's still up and running in Fort Worth for Texas Star Whiskey. I did that in 2018.
Oh, I did see the picture there. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that one's off of 30 and 287. I ran metrics through ChatGPT like a year ago, and it was like 300 million people or billion or like some crazy number. I've driven past it since 2018
Wow.
when I painted it. I mean, it's pretty cool how many people have seen that. I did a horrible job of promoting myself and actually saying, "Hey, I'm the one that did that." One, because I had a career. Two, just the humble, starving artist mentality, which now I'm like shifting out of. But I spoke to the owner of that property last week because I was cast on this show and I had to go on a fitting to like make sure that I looked good in whatever it was I was wearing. It
Right.
happened to be at his warehouse. Like he owns this whole complex. This show just like rented a piece of
Wow.
that
What are the
complex.
chances of that?
And I was like, hey, this felt like a sign to the universe just to say hi at the very least. But he was like, that thing still looks as amazing as it did when you first painted it. And I was like, that's cool. And it's just like just a relationship, just a conversation,
Wow.
just a hi after I haven't talked to him in like 5 years, but just that little reminder and the affirmation that yeah, like everything's affirmation is not the right word. But reaffirming that like it's still looks great, getting
Yeah.
love from the clients like almost 10 years later, which is awesome. The coffee shop, like seeing all the love that people share whenever they get there. Not that half the posts are of my mural, but I've seen so many posts that are featuring my
Right.
mural when they're going to get the coffee. So it's definitely adding to the business. And it's not just like, again, art for art's sake. It's like, how do you draw people in with the art? How do you leverage it as a business tool and not just another thing? Like people, I think people again just dismiss the art aspect of it, but the
Right.
culture builder, which I think I don't want to say it's lacking here. It's much bigger in Houston. So I lived in Houston for 6 years,
Oh,
and you see art
that's where I'm from.
everywhere.
Yeah, you do.
You see less here. You still see it, but it's still like kind of developing. So it's an open canvas out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like you do see it here, but it's more in pockets.
Yeah.
And it's not, yeah, that's a good point. It's not as widespread. So I gotta ask you this before I ask you when your birthday is. So how did you come up? Because I love names and concepts. And when I saw Cryptid Theory, I was like, oh, that name is just so cool. So how did you come up with the name Cryptid Theory?
Yeah. So about 4 years ago, I mean, one, I just love conspiracy theories and cryptids and all the lore. Again, storytelling. Like, man, I could just go down rabbit holes for days just in the cryptid world. Like, so many crazy videos. What's real? What's not? What's AI? What like just, but it's
Right.
just fun. And then also, when you and I met, I want to say, I mean, it was late at night. I think, like maybe like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Well,
I
doesn't
think it
really
was in the
matter.
daytime. Well, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. But like there were times that I was painting at 4 a.m. There were times that I was painting at
Oh, yeah.
10 a.m. So I'm like, when is when is Cryptid Theory gonna be here? Like I'm kind of almost
Ah,
operating this I don't know, like this, like I don't know, like abstract, like where is he gonna be? Like is he gonna be here
kind
today?
of
Are we
mystical
gonna see
or
him? Yeah, so there's a bit of
yeah.
that. Like even just like with muralists and artists as a whole, like who created that? Like that wasn't there yesterday and now it's here. And like
Mhm.
same thing with like the cryptid with its Bigfoot. Like there are all these stories that happened this past week of them running away from this meteor or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Um, go down that rabbit hole, gets weird. I haven't really dug into that, but like people see things. There are weird things out there with murals. One day they're there, or one day they're not there, and then they're there, and you're like, who did that? Um, there's also a whole nother backstory, but I love the name. I love storytelling as well. I actually had another name for it, and but it was never like in love with it. And then I landed on Cryptid Theory, and I was like, that's it. Like that's what I've been waiting
Yeah.
for right there. Like I've
Yeah.
been waiting to pull the trigger because I didn't love the name, and then as soon as I found the name, I was like, that's my baby.
That's
Like that's it
yeah.
right
It's,
there. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I think too the makings of a good name or a good title for anything, you see it once and you never forget it. So like I saw the name and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna forget that because it's just such a unique name and it's easy to remember.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also like one of the things that I'm struggling with right now as a designer
Mhm.
is I haven't fully branded myself. Because before I would sit on it for a year designing, perfecting the brand, what it looks like, what it sounds like, what the website looks like, and
Okay.
treating it as a business first. I'm like, let's just create the work. And one, it'll evolve. Like it always evolves. The
Yeah.
brand evolves.
Hmm.
But I'm not prioritizing the logo. Like I've got a business card. I've got things in place, but the work is the work. And then once I find a little more time, build more traction, then I'll start working on investing in the actual brand itself, if that makes sense, which is completely
Oh yeah.
backwards from who I innately am as a designer.
Uh, but I don't think that's a wrong way that you're going about it though, because I feel like the work is the brand
Yeah,
too. So
yeah,
it's like they go hand in hand.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
it's wrong as a graphic designer
Okay,
because
I got you. Hmm.
you think of a brand and like all these, like you think Starbucks first before you even think about the coffee.
True.
But I'm like,
Hmm.
from a business perspective, like the coffee's got to be amazing, and like then the brand comes after that. So as as an artist, I'd focus on the brand first. Now as a more business focused muralist,
Hmm.
I'm focused on the work first, which is still like the art and the creative, and then like then kind of falling in line with the branding as soon as I kind of get a chance to do that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I love that. Okay. Okay. Well, as I think I mentioned to you when I first asked you to do the podcast, so this season is a wild card theme. So the podcast is typically zodiac based, or it's more of a zodiac heavy
Yeah.
conversation. But this season, I flipped it where I've talked to so many people just over the last 3 years of doing this podcast where I've left the episode feeling like, oh, I really wanted to know more about their profession or more about this passion project that they were working on. And just for the sake of time and the structure of the show, I didn't get a chance to do that. So I said, well, this season, I want to flip it. And the Zodiac piece is going to be um, kind of like the underbelly, but just not as noticeable as the rest of the aspects of the show. But with that said, I would love to know your birthday, if you don't mind sharing that with the viewers and the listeners.
Yeah, July 24th.
July 24th. Okay. Okay. So you are a Leo then.
I am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Tell me, read me
Now
more. You're like,
I
I
will
can
say,
tell.
no, I'm not as I'm not deep into the zodiac like that, but I will say, as I've done this show, um, I've started to notice certain commonalities or certain traits that certain signs have. And I have a lot of Leos in my family. I have friends that are Leos as well. And I feel like on the artist perspective, I feel like that's spot on for a Leo, because I feel like it's one of the most creative signs of the zodiac.
Yeah.
Just being storytellers, making things front and center. I think personally, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, or if you feel like it's spot on. I think Leos can operate well under a spotlight, but they're not necessarily seekers of the spotlight, if that makes sense. And I think that's a rep that Leos get a lot. It's like, oh, they want to be center of attention, or they want to be in the spotlight. And that I don't really think that's always true.
Yeah. Yeah, no, personally, I'm trying to be more of that without like the baggage of the Leos. like everyone like the egotistical, the a-hole Leo, whatever. Like, I don't think I'm that. I'm definitely like hard-headed. I'm definitely qualified for some of those things, but I'm also a Leo, so I don't think I'm that bad. So
I love
it. Slightly very cool. Hold on, buddy. This is also my son, Colton Canava, so named after me.
Hey,
he's also an artist, so we're working on a book for school.
That's cool. Did he draw that?
He did. He's got a school assignment for school. Yeah. I'm getting back to just like the art piece. Like, how do I infuse the business side too? Like, I don't want him to just be an artist. And if he does, like, make sure that you're smart about it. Get away from the starving artist mentality of it all, and succeed. But it's like going back to like being like the center of the crowd. All right, Colton, stop, please. You might be the Leo, actually. Like very uncomfortable, or have been being in like these networking groups, and like again just like flipping that switch and like just being myself, but being more professional about it, and like being comfortable, like finding my way into those things. Like once I'm there, like I'm fine. I just don't necessarily seek out that
I got 10 more. I got 10 more, and then I'm done with this book.
Hey, you're almost done. That's cool.
Yeah, but this year, this isn't this is zodiac, Chinese zodiac.
Yeah, so it's the year of the horse.
Yeah. So as chief horse / Colt, because Colt is a horse, I was telling my son, who's also named Colt, that this is our year, and so far it's been good.
That's
awesome.
I do have one thing that I'm working on. It's been my goal.
10 equals 17.
It sure does. I had to think about it. Yeah, it does.
I did too. I was like,
yeah. Right now I'm working on. Sit down, please. Okay. Right now I'm working on a RFP for a World Cup mural. Okay. So that's been my goal the past couple of months.
Yes.
For the World Cup. Like, I've been like, all right, cool. I've got 100 days. I've got 90 days. Like, my goal is to create one World Cup mural.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to get this one, but I'm doing my best and creating this RFP so that I can actually have something. If they don't like it, maybe I'll just find a building and just paint it myself and just make it happen. So I've got a goal to fulfill. So one way or another, it's gonna happen.
I love that. I love it. So this there's one segment that I play with everybody called Dead in the Water, like a this or that questions. But before we get to that, I really could not end this show without mentioning this too. So I saw that you designed some Super Bowl rings.
Yes, sir.
I did. What? How was that experience?
No, that was awesome. That was again one of my design advertising world experiences.
Okay.
It actually evolved from one of the boring tasks, one of the things that I actually hated about my job, which again maybe spoiled creative, but like we were doing packaging design for all of Frito-Lay products. We were the official chip of the Super Bowl.
I
But, like,
need
we
to
weren't
get
doing
one
anything
more
like that
thing.
exciting outside of like just standard stuff you see in store.
Yeah.
And so we had an opportunity to think of the gift with purchase for the chips. And so me, my creative director, another art director, we got together. We're like, man, what if we like actually created like the official chip ring for the Super Bowl? So we created 5 Super Bowl rings for
Daddy,
each of the
what do I
5
do
brands.
this?
You hear me talking, right?
Forward.
So it's Doritos, Tostitos, Lay's, a couple other ones, Ruffles. But
Wow.
for each of those rings, like I designed and like helped curate with Jostens, who actually does most of the Super Bowl rings, like for real, for the Super Bowl champions. So we worked
Huh.
with them to create these Super Bowl rings with real gold. I think 3 were white gold and 2 were gold. Real gems, rubies, and probably not rubies, but like real
Yeah.
like actual gems. And I think each one cost between like $10,000 and $13,000 a piece. And then those were actually brought to the Super Bowl. It was the LA or not LA Live, the Super Bowl Live experience in Phoenix. So it was 3 years ago. So like after Super Bowl, they actually had them in this case. You could like walk up and get like understand, like get a feel for these rings. And then there was a social media component behind it where somebody like 5 people won the rings, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But I was the concept, design, implementation, help like bring those things to life. And then like I mentioned, maybe we got one project a year. That was that project, that really big project
It was
that
like
year
that.
that I got to work on. That probably kept me in the ad world just another year, and then another year.
Right.
And got to something, and I was there another year.
It kept baiting you, like, okay,
Yeah,
I'll stay
which is
longer.
why I could never jump out of the plane, was because like I kept getting brought back in because something else cool would happen, like the video game that I mentioned that I created for
Yeah.
Oh yeah, forgot.
this project. And there was another one I worked on with like Danny
Got
Trejo,
Rhino.
and I was like, I can't leave. Like I gotta stick this one out. Like
Yeah.
freaking Danny Trejo, let's go.
Right.
So again, like I've been able to do some really cool things in the ad world. Not that I don't ever want to go back to the ad world. Maybe, but I don't want to go back to the ad world. Like I don't want to go back
Yeah.
to
Yeah. And you have
work
your own
for
thing
someone
now.
else. Like I want the creative theory thing to be the thing, where other people want to work for one day. You know, like
Yeah.
I wanna make the exciting work. So yeah, I've got a pretty wide range
I'm
between
making an
Super Bowl
exciting
rings, murals, being
Hey,
a
that's
dad,
right.
and then background actor, full time, part time, not full time. Oh no,
book.
background actor. So I've been describing myself as a free agent. I have a little more opportunity to do
Yeah.
different things. So
I think that's the
been
best
fun.
place to be free
Yeah.
to do what you want. So
Yeah, it's been great.
yeah. Man,
Still challenging,
that's
still very challenging, but
right. Hey, but you're making it work. You're making it work.
doing my best.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the last segment I have for
Okay.
you. It's just 5 this or that questions. So instead of telling me the one that you like the best of these 2, you'll tell me the one that you would toss back in the water or
Okay.
get rid of.
Okay.
So out of these 2, paintbrush or spray paint, which one would you get rid of?
Oh, that's tough, dude. That's tough. It's like guess not
And
gangster.
it's
enough,
fine
but
if you say neither. That's
if I
fine
think
too.
neither,
Yeah, some
yeah.
people do say that. Some people say neither.
I mean, I lean neither, but to like the spirit of the game, I'll throw spray paint in. So most of
Okay.
what I do is like with the paintbrush. I do prefer not for stop tearing it up. I do prefer like more of a
Yeah.
mixed media between like just leveraging like multiple things.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the latex approach that I've been working with has worked out great. I'm still dabbling with spray paint, so still kind of new. I say that the Texas Star Whiskey mural in Fort Worth that I mentioned, that was like exclusively spray paint. But for the most part, I prefer the paint in hand, the paintbrush, getting it all over me.
Right. Right.
If you've never seen me, I think I've been telling people I usually look like this. It's just like all the paint all over.
That's a good
me,
example.
Except worse. Yeah.
And what's crazy is people would pay for a cover
Yeah.
like that has the paint smell.
Yeah, right.
That's cool. And so this one is more so your creative spark and when you feel like it comes to life. So we'll say when you're having your cup of coffee in the morning, or are you more of a midnight snack inspiration type person?
I think there's a flaw in this question because I'm a morning coffee, and an afternoon coffee, and a midnight coffee. So which means,
so you just like all coffee.
like, just coffee, man, just coffee. I could probably,
Right.
so I could probably toss the midnight snack in theory
all
until
coffee.
midnight strikes, and then I want the snack. So, but I'll toss the
Okay.
midnight snack.
For the
I
coffee.
always
That
want
being
snacks.
said, I'm definitely more of
Me too.
a night owl. Like inspiration strikes at 1 a.m. versus like 9 a.m.
Okay.
So it depends on what I'm working on.
Gotcha. But you might be drinking coffee more than having the snack.
Yeah.
Okay.
In theory, my wife might say otherwise, but yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Like,
Okay.
probably dial back on the midnight snacks. It's true.
Oh man, can't we all? I can too. Oh, between these two cities, Fort Worth and Arlington, in terms of an inspiring vibe to create,
Yeah.
between these two cities, which one would you get rid of?
I feel like I'm gonna have to pass on this one.
Okay, fair.
Politically speaking, since I
Yes.
live in Arlington.
Okay,
Like,
gotta pass on that one. Okay.
This is tough.
Hey.
No, okay, so I'm not gonna answer it, but it's interesting. So I've been working on a few projects for Arlington, and like just like reflecting on what Dallas means to so many people. Like it means the Cowboys, it means Six Flags, it means Rangers games, which means Arlington. So like, be dramatic, but when 90% of the people say I'm going to Dallas, are they really going to Dallas?
Yeah,
Or are
that
they
is true.
coming to Arlington. Like, I don't know.
I never thought of it that way, but that's a good point. Yeah, because
So-
even when you consider the boom that Fort Worth has had over the years, I feel like it's grown because I've moved to Dallas in 2003, and Fort Worth then compared to now, it's just grown so much. But you're right. When people come here, it's one of those three.
Where's the White House?
Yeah.
That's the big attraction.
Yeah. Culture's different everywhere, but like that is what you think of. Again, when
Yeah,
you think
it's
of
like the
Dallas.
heart of
So-
Dallas.
And I live in Arlington, so I love Arlington.
Hey,
I'm also working on
right.
projects, and my biggest one's in Fort Worth, so I love it all, man.
Ah,
There's
I
baby
love
number
it.
2.
Hey, how you doing?
Say hi.
Hey. I love it. Okay, between these two, summer or winter, just more so, which one's your favorite? Which one would you get rid of?
Ah, man. Why are they so hard, man? Oh no, I'm getting rid of winter. Like
Oh, really?
no sub 10s, no
Okay, well, yeah, that is too
blizzards,
cold.
all of that, especially as an artist now. Like, no, I need good weather.
Okay,
And for the most part, between March minus the rain, but between March and October-ish, perfect weather. Even November, perfect weather. But man, when those ice storms hit, like
Woo.
I couldn't work
Yeah.
for a week because I was just locked here.
oh,
As
that's
before,
true.
like I
Yeah.
could work from anywhere.
Yeah.
But we do love Christmas, especially now that I have kids. I love Christmas. So maybe if
Okay.
like if we could like make Christmas in July a real thing, let's keep something.
Oh, then that, yeah. Okay, keeping the summer.
Yeah, right.
All right.
Let's cheat.
That's right. All right, this is the last one. So if you were at a restaurant and looking on a menu, in terms of which one would be more enticing, or I guess in this case, least enticing for you, between an appetizer or dessert, which one would you get rid of?
Yeah, I'm getting rid of the appetizer. I don't care about the appetizer. Give me the
Okay,
dessert.
well, the dessert.
Give me
Okay.
2 desserts. Maybe one of each, one of everything.
Right.
It's something I need to work on, but yeah.
Hey, no, me too.
I'll
I
take the dessert.
have a sweet tooth
Every
too lately.
Me too.
You
Yeah.
too? Hey, I'm with you.
Yeah, me too.
They're probably my excuse to eat a little bit more dessert than I should. So
Right. It's like they want some dessert. I want some dessert too.
yeah, man. Like
Everyone
get
wants
ice cream.
dessert.
That's right. But yes. Wow, Colton, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining me
Again.
and taking time out of your schedule to be on the show. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. No, I appreciate the invite. I know when we first met at Access at Wycliffe, you told me about
Yes.
the podcast. God,
It was a few months
3
ago.
months ago.
Yeah, I think you're right. It was about 3 months ago.
Like you mentioned it, I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Like I'm genuinely interested in, but then all of a sudden it's here, and I was like, oh man,
Like it's a real thing now.
this is real. This is legit. Not that it wouldn't be, but yeah, real podcast.
Right.
So it's actually my first podcast. So
Oh,
thank you for
that's
that
awesome.
invite. Yeah,
Hey,
it's a ton of
no
fun.
doubt.
I'll
You're
have
welcome.
to figure out a room and maybe put the kids in a cage or something. Just kidding.
No. I love it. He's like, no, not putting me away.
Wait, do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids. I'd say I'm just uncle at this point. Like I have a lot of frat brothers that have kids, and then like my nephew actually just had a son that I need to meet. But yeah, no, I don't have any kids of my own.
Well, I was Uncle Coco forever because my niece couldn't say Colton, I guess. And then I became a dad, and then I became Daddy Coco, and then he became Baby Coco. My wife became Mommy Coco. So it's
so it's like a whole thing
like,
now.
I was an uncle until I wasn't, and then now just dad/artist, which is also the motivation / I have to be successful. Like I can't not make Cryptid Theory work because I've got 2 kids and a wife and a whole family. So extra motivation to not step up.
That's right. But hey, you're making it work. You are obviously doing it, man. Yeah.
Long ways to go, but I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the time. Really appreciate you, man.
Oh,
This was actually
appreciate you too,
a ton of
Colton.
fun.
Oh, good. I always love to hear that. It was definitely fun for me too. Yes, I really enjoyed it. Learned some new things too.
Hopefully, I didn't talk too much. So.
No. I love that. I love like when I ask a question and then like there's really depth to the answer.
Yeah.
Because the thing that makes it really hard as a podcaster is like if you ask somebody a question and then they just say, "Oh, yeah," or "No," or and then it's and it's like, "All right, okay, let me think of something else to ask." So I didn't feel that way at all with this show. So that's
did you have who's your inspiration to dive into the podcast? Or you just like seeing the culture, or is there like a creator or a couple creators that inspired you?
Ooh, that's a good question. So really how it started for me was this is now my 3rd podcast. So the first one, now I would listen to podcasts, didn't necessarily have a desire to do it for myself. But I used to be a part of a group podcast. It was myself and 2 other guys. One of the guys was the creator of it. It was his idea. And so I just joined on. And so in the midst of us doing that, when we took a hiatus, I did a podcast for one of my books that I released. It was a limited series. So I just did 2 seasons, and the book was called Trigger Point. Okay. And so the podcast concept was talking about things that trigger us in life. And so then I kind of tied it back to the book. So it was fun because, I promoted it as like, hey, we know this is going to be a limited run. But it also helped me promote the book. And then with this 3rd one, this one I'm doing now, I had once the group podcast I did, once it ended, I really didn't have a desire to do another one. And I was just scrolling on TikTok, and this lady, I wish I could find that video now. I don't know. It's probably like at the beginning of my likes on TikTok. But she was talking about these men that she had dated in the past. And she said she kept running into Aquarius men, which is my sign. And so I'm listening. I'm like, wow, she's just saying like all these great things about Aquarius. And so I'm like, I need to follow her. Right. And then came. And then she starts saying, well, she said, there's this one thing that really just irks me about them, though. She says that she feels like with Aquarius men, you never really know what they're thinking. Like, even if they tell you, like, hey, this is what's on my mind, it feels like there's some sort of a wall that's there. And that really stuck with me because every relationship I've been in, I've heard that to some degree. Some more intense than others, but I've heard some variation of that in every relationship. So I kind of thought, okay, maybe that's a zodiac, maybe that's a trait because I am an Aquarius. I don't know. And so then it gave me the idea to say, okay, well, hey, I'm an Aquarius. So of course, a lot of the stuff comes from that point of view, but why not talk to all of the signs?
Yeah,
because everybody has a quirk or a superpower that is tied to their sign, and so it's kind of like that whole discussion of what makes each sign tick, basically.
So you found your flaw, but you wanted to make sure that everyone else knows that they also have a flaw, so you can help inspire and like bring them down just a little bit. Because, like you're gonna say I have this issue. All right, cool.
Right, you got
that problems too. Dang it!
Not just
even
me.
Playing field. Even
right. We're all even. Yeah, but it's the main. That's funny. I'm gonna have to spin and add that in to my slogan and everything. But the main takeaway that I want people to get from this podcast is really just better communication. Like if I know, and not to stereotype or generalize people based on their signs, but if I know, I'll say Virgo, for instance, they have a rep for being like, really detailed and meticulous. So like, if I know that and I'm talking to a Virgo,
my wife's a Virgo, so I gotta watch my back.
Oh, she is? Oh, that's so funny. And the only reason I even said Virgo as an example is because both of my parents are Virgos, and then I have a couple of close cousins that are. But it's like, okay, if I know this is your sign and these are maybe the top 5 things that people say about your sign, then maybe I can use that to communicate with you better. Yeah. So that's really the whole basis of it.
It's always been fascinating to me, the signs, the zodiac signs, and is that astrology? Astrology.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's like how much of it is influenced by the moon, the stars, like how much of it is learned behavior, how much of it's a little bit of, but like so I studied engineering at Baylor because when I was 6 or 7 or like what I was told that I should be an engineer, and so then like I saw myself as this engineer until I became an engineering student, and then it's like no, but like we assume these identities early on. So how much of the zodiac sign is assumed versus like who we truly are, if that makes sense. So I mean, there's kind of like the chicken or the egg, like what is the balance between what's real, what's assumed, what's the nature versus nurture of it all, which is pretty fascinating. But like
it is.
That aside, just the astrology is very fascinating. It's very interesting. And less taboo than it's ever been, which is kind of as well.
It is. So, because it used to be, you're right, it used to be very taboo, and now it's not.
Yeah. But I can't say I like dig into it. Like I'm not like looking at my astrology every day.
Right.
But I know all I know is that Leo's like the most important. So
hey, that's right. That's the main one to pay attention to, right? That's right.
How many fans did I just lose? Dang.
Oh no. I love it.
Need fans first.
Right.
Cool, man.
But yeah, no, this has been great, Colton. No, thank you again. I'm definitely going to stay in touch, and I'm going to go to that coffee shop in Arlington so I can see the inside and the murals and stuff, and take pictures in there. So yeah, I really appreciate it.
That'd be awesome, man. I don't know if I'd ever be invited back, but let's do this again.
Oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I'd love
Next
to have you
season or
back.
something like that.
Yeah,
Let's,
yeah.
let's chat, or
Okay.
let's just hang, grab
Yeah.
that coffee.
Hey, I know,
But
right?
again, appreciate your time. Appreciate what you're doing, man. This is awesome. Yeah, this is a lot of fun. So thank you.
Oh, thank you, man. I'm glad to hear that. Thanks, Colton. I appreciate you being on. And then to all of the viewers and listeners, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, next week is the season finale. And so then we'll take a little short break until July, and that'll kick off season 11. But that's a wrap. So yeah, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. And thanks, Colton, for joining us today.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
See ya.
You're welcome. Bye.